All right, this is the podcast. I have to jump right in on one. Somebody just wrote, hockey is like soccer. Bill, how can you hate on soccer and love hockey so much? The fuck. They are so similar. Yeah, except one is played by men, the other is played by girls, who anytime you brush up against them, they go, oh! They roll around on the ground for fucking 20 minutes. You know who else does that in the NHL? European fucking hockey players. The fucking Swedes, right? The Norwegians. I don't know if there's any Norwegians. I don't know. All those fucking, the Sundins, however you say them, the fucking twins up there. Jesus Christ, you even graze their fucking Ben Affleck goatees from 1996. They flop around on the ice. I like soccer. I think it is very similar to hockey. I just can't get over the fucking... What does it say about the men of your country that they pretend to be hurt and roll around? So some guy will take a little yellow fucking card out of his back pocket and run up to the person who allegedly did it and just fucking, pull it out like some sort of, I don't know, FBI badge. I hate how the ref runs up to the guy who does it and like, there's the yellow card. Why doesn't somebody just slap it out of his fucking hand? This is when I'll start watching soccer. You know what the thing I feel about soccer? I feel like the people in the stands are tougher than the people on the field. It's really bizarre. I would go out on the pitch in a second, my little fucking Larry Bird shorts, and I'd run around there and brush up against fellow men and watch them go, oh, fucking fall on the grass and roll around hugging their knee that I didn't hit. I would do that a second. As far as standing in the crowd with those fucking crooked teeth sons of bitches with a couple of pints and some fish and chips in them, fuck that. I'd never do it. Have them choke me to death with their fucking matching scarves. I don't need that. All right? I'm going to tell you, the Premier League is phenomenal. World Cup soccer, I love it. I love it, except for every time I start to get into it, there's that shameless flopping around. They all look like they're going to cry. The Spaniards and the Italians, they actually get their eyes all welled up like fucking Meryl Streep. They're out there trying to win an award. That's what I would do, If I was making films in England, that's what I would do right there. I would fucking, I'd cast just a soccer player. Those guys can cry on cue. All you got to do is run by them. So now, of course, he goes the condescending thing. I don't know if this guy's actually, because he's actually saying he's into the Blackhawks. He's like, Americans don't have the attention span to watch the game that the rest of the world plays. I love that. I love how they just can't admit that we don't give a fuck because we like contact sports. That's what we like. We like people smashing into one another. That's what we like. And getting brain damage. And then bitching about it years later, even though they did it on purpose because the fucking assistant coach gave them $1,000 to do it. Those are the kinds of games that we like. All right? We're ignorant and we're violent. But we do have an attention span. All right? I understand it's a beautiful game. It's phenomenal. The corner kicks, flying up and over, everybody grabbing their balls on the penalty shots. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to watch 10 guys stand in a line, cupping their junk, yet giving up their face to block this ball. And as always, they always say, why do they call it football? They should call it handball because they carry it in their hands. I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Like I said, I totally respect the game. I think it's a beautiful game. But when you guys get rid of the flopping around and borderline crying in that game, I'm all over it. All right? But don't talk to me about fucking attention span. It's fucking boring. All right? It's not boring. It's just fucking, it's the flop. For me, I'm speaking for everybody. I'm speaking for me. I can't get over the flopping around. I like the Premier League. I like listening to everybody singing the songs, the excitement in the crowd. You can feel it. It matters. There's history. I can totally get into it. But every time I start to get on the edge of my seat, somebody fucking starts, I don't know what, grabbing their anus and, flipping around, and then that douche runs up and fucking stomps his foot as he pulls out the card, and I'm just not into it, all right? I like when people do that. Like, they just can't accept that you don't like their sport. Like, I tweeted something. Yes, I did do that and somehow maintained my heterosexuality. I tweeted something. And I said that you could watch Lord of the Rings in the time it takes to watch the final 58 seconds of a close NBA game. Right? The NBA, I don't ever remember it taking that fucking long. When I was younger, I used to watch hoop. But, just like a baseball game. Baseball games didn't take as long. There wasn't everybody doing a fucking triple Lindy between every single fucking pitch, stepping outside the batter box, grabbing your dick, adjusting your gloves, and all that boring horse shit. I put that right up there with soccer. All right? Fucking basketball's the same thing. So I end up making fun of that shit, and somebody writes back, what the fuck did they write? Something on the effect that, we always make fun of that which we don't understand. Kind of like what you're doing, saying that you're not admitting that soccer is kind of fucking boring. You're just going to say we don't have the attention span for it. Yet somehow we can sit there and watch 9 innings of boring baseball. Plenty of Americans do that, sir. Right? Do you hear that? Hear that sound, sir? That's the sound of your argument hitting the fucking water in the shitter. All right? And this other cunt sitting there talking about how, I'm making fun of basketball like I don't understand it. I totally understand it. I've been watching it for 30 fucking years. All right, youngster? Been watching it since 1981. Okay? And I just, I don't know. There's 2 things that made me stop watching. After the Jordan era, everyone who tried to be Jordan, not passing the ball, trying to win without a big man. I can do it all myself because Michael did it. And then it took them like 8 years to figure out they weren't Michael. That type of shit. Kobe's the only guy I've been able to see do it. That kind of, I used to like the team aspect of it. That kind of left. And then the end of the fucking game. It's just like this 58 fucking... You know what the worst is? Is when the other team has clearly lost the fucking game and they keep calling timeouts. Jesus Christ. It's over. It's fucking... What do you do? You're trying to cock block? You're trying to delay their celebration? I don't know. So, I still like hoop, There's aspects of soccer that I like, but I don't know. There's something about basketball. I don't understand why I watch this exciting, fast-paced fucking game, and then right when it all matters, you slowed the whole fucking thing down, and I watch people take unguarded shots to win the game. It becomes golf at that point. There's nobody trying to stop you, Instead of putting it into the hole, you're fucking throwing it in. Sort of lobbing it in, putting a nice, pretty arc on it, unless you're Shaq. Second you put your fucking hands over your head, you're above the rim, right? So what do? You try to throw it in straight. I think Shaq's the only person who probably has a worse science background than I do. Remember that shit when I was telling you I don't understand how planes fly? Or how you can have on a cruise ship, how you can have a fucking pool on a cruise ship, you know what I mean? How do you dig a hole into the fuselage and dump water in it and it doesn't sink? It's just fucking beyond me. The only person I would say has a worse science background than me would be Shaq, because he was in the league for almost 20 goddamn seasons and he never figured out that, hey, maybe I need to put some sort of trajectory on this thing. Is that the right word? It's unreal. When I was a kid and with the Nerf hoop, I knew to do that. How can you be fucking 9 feet tall and not understand that? Stand that. My fucking voice is cracking. So anyways, I got to go to work tomorrow, 6:20 in the fucking morning.